Hi, it's Alex from Meat City Bride here. I'm out reviewing the 2014 Street Glide from Harley Davidson. The first thing that struck me is it's a lot smoother than most Harleys I've actually ridden recently. The power seems to be very linear, and aside from the fact it vibrates at idle, the power builds very nicely and very smoothly, almost in a Japanese-like fashion. Gear changes are very smooth. Progress is very smooth. If I do have one complaint about the way it handles, I found the suspension to be too soft. It gave me too much, I could feel too much of the road, too many bumps in the road came through, especially on the rear, and I felt we did actually manage to bleed some of the air out of the rear suspension, and I have to say the handling did improve once we'd done that. So I'm pretty sure that's not a criticism of the bike, but of just the way this one's set up. On this particular model, the entertainment system is controlled very nicely by these little thumb controls. They allow you to navigate the on-screen prompts without taking your hands off the bars. And while you still need to look at the screen to know exactly what you're doing at any given time, things like changing radio station or jumping to another track or changing the volume are easily done without taking your hands off the bars at all. The 2014 Street Glide is one of the first bikes from Harley's Project Rushmore series. Project Rushmore, if you're not familiar with it, is a project where Harley have garnered feedback from riders around the world, and lots of them too. And they've incorporated as much of the feedback as they can to build a machine that's by riders for riders. Things like the vent by the windshield can be opened and closed with one hand. The panniers can now be opened and closed with one hand, even with a glove on. The gas cap similarly. It's very simple. It's very, very obvious when you look at it, but more bikes don't do it, so you have to wonder why not. Like most bikes, you do get a little soreness in the butt from sitting there for so long, and no matter how good the saddle is, you're never going to get rid of that. But, you know, I've been riding this. I rode for about 10 hours yesterday. I'll be riding for about 14 today, and I've no problem with that. You know, I can get off the bike, and while I've got a little stiffness in my shoulders, generally, it feels fantastic. Now, if you've ridden a Harley in the past, the handling's going to be pretty familiar. It is going to feel a little lighter. It's hard to say at this point whether the bike itself is lighter, whether it's just a little more powerful or geared a little better, whether the weight's distributed better, we don't know. But what it does do compared to other Harleys is feel lighter in the turn, especially. It seems to be a lot more simple to just drop it into a turn, and it handles pretty good out on these twisty roads up here in New York State and the Adirondack Mountains. Overall, I think Harley have done an amazing job with the 2014 Street Glide. It genuinely feels like a step forward for the bike. The Project Rushmore tweaks really have made it a much more friendly motorcycle to ride. Well, I didn't ride the 2013 model. It does, I'm told it's more powerful. It doesn't really stand out as being that way, but it certainly doesn't lack for power. So again, you know, it's a very friendly motorcycle to ride. It looks like a Harley. It's been turning heads everywhere we've stopped. People have been coming up to me and asking me if it's the 2014. There seems to be a lot of excitement around it. It would seem that Harley really are going to sell quite a few of these based on the feedback we've had. It's a good bike.